Hello, everyone. So this is actually the day three of the PIFTYE Young Leaders Summit. It has been an amazing session since it started on Monday. It's been very much amazing. We had our first speaker speak to us on self leadership, and we had our second speaker speak to us on vision casting. And today we're going to be listening to a very phenomenal speaker and a coach. She's going to be taking us on the personal development part. So if you're here and you've been thinking of how to move your life forward, what to do while you wait for that awesome job, that miracle job, what to do before you land to your amazing visa, what to do before you even get married. If you're that person that's been thinking about this now, today is your own session. So make yourself available, open up to what our speaker is going to be exposing us today. So I'm going to be bringing up our speaker for tonight. She's Coach Kate Onokomaya. So let me bring her up right away.
Hi, hello Doris. Hello everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, Ma. Thank you for joining us. So
You are welcome.
I'm gonna make the floor open to you right away. I've already introduced you, so please just have the floor.
Right. Thank you so much. All right, so thank you, Doris, and I'm so happy to be here this evening. My name is Kate Onokomaya, and I am the founder and lead coach at Exponential Growth Academy. It's a training and coaching enterprise here in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. I'm also an executive program leader with the Maxwell Leadership Certified team and a President's Advisory Council member of the Maxwell Leadership Certified team. So I'm a coach, speaker, and trainer, just like Doris said. I am the author of The Growing Life. Yes, so personal growth and development is really my passion. That's something that I am passionate about because I want to see lives transformed. I want to see people living their best life just because they took a step to invest in themselves to become the best version they can possibly be. All right, so let me see if I can share my screen so um, we can have some slides. Let me just see how this works here. Does that work? Okay. Okay, so I can't see the screen share. All right, no problem. Let's go without the screen share. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at my slides from another monitor, so you might see me coming on board. So pathway to personal growth and development. But why personal growth and development? Why our objective for today is to find out why do we need to grow? Why is personal development important for everyone? And we will learn the benefits of personal growth, see how you can stay on a growth plan. I'll begin by this quote by my mentor, John C. Maxwell. John says, growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow is going to be better. So if you're wondering, how is my life going to be tomorrow? What's my future going to be like? Invest in yourself. Get started on intentional growth and development because that is what is going to guarantee a better tomorrow for you. I have seen that in my life. I've seen that in the lives of so many people that I know. All right. So, why personal development? Why do we need to grow? Why do we need to improve ourselves? When you are growing, you connect with that part of you that knows that you are capable of so much more. Because we all aspire to be more. We all aspire to have a good life, to be successful. I remember one day I asked my 10-year-old son, he's now 11, when he was 10. One day we're driving home from school, and I asked him, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And he said, "I want to be successful. I want to have a good life. I want to have a family, a good home." And he was 10 at the, you see. He knew that there is something he's capable of. He's capable of success. All right. So why do we grow? Secondly, to improve our quality of thinking. If you are not developing yourself intentionally, your thinking is going to be limited. And we all know, as a man thinks, so he is. So the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thinking. And the only way we can improve the quality of our thinking is by investing into improving ourselves, improving our mental capacity through personal growth and development, improving ourselves spiritually, and improving ourselves in other areas of our lives. So we need to grow, we need to develop ourselves. And thirdly, why do we need to grow? Why do we need to develop ourselves? To attract other growth focused people into your circle. Because to become a better leader of yourself and others, you need to grow. And that is the fourth reason why we need to grow, to become a better leader of yourself first and then of others. Now, I believe that growth comes from the deep seated longing inside of us to become more, to have more, and to do more. Perhaps you're listening to me right now. Maybe you're here live, or you listen to this recording wherever you listen to it. Something is calling you from inside. There's something telling you that, oh, I can be more than I am right now. I can have more than I have right now, and I can do more than I am doing right now. That voice is called the voice of your potential. You see, we have unlimited potential. You have the potential to become so much more. Now, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to squash that voice when it speaks? Say, oh, where do I even start? What can I do? I'm okay the way I am. In fact, what can I do? You give yourself all the excuses that you know how to give, and you quench that voice. But I believe from today, you are going to listen to that voice that is telling you right from inside that you are capable of so much more. Right. So let's look at some of the reasons why I think we need to invest in ourselves. Why is personal development important? Why is it important? One, when we grow, we live a life of purpose. Growth connects us with that person that God created us to be. I host a leadership conference every year in October. And 2 years ago, in 2021, I can't, no, yeah, that's already 2 years ago. Oh my God, time flies, you know. Well, one of our speakers called Ed Milet, he was on the show. Ed Milet, he's a billionaire. He's the host of the Max Out podcast, and he is a businessman. He owns several businesses, and he owns his own island. Can you imagine? He owns his own island. island. He actually flew from his island to that conference. All right. So he said something that stuck with me. He said, when we get to heaven, he has this picture that when he gets to heaven, God is going to show him the person he was meant to be right here on earth. That it's just going to be like a mirror, that God is going to show him the mirror of his life, like the passage, how he lived his life and who he was supposed to be while he was here on earth. And he said, when he looks at that mirror, when that time comes and he looks into that mirror, he wants to see a reflection of that person that God intended him to be. And that is what growth does for us. It helps us to live a life of purpose. When I say growth, I mean intentional growth, taking steps every single day to add value to yourself, to improve yourself, to become better than you were the day before. So, when we take those steps every day, there are some questions you ask yourself. I ask myself these questions. And the question is, who are you? Who are you? Who am I? Do you know who you are? And secondly, what is your unique contribution to this world? Because intentional growth puts us in a position of service to humanity. And that is where we find purpose. Your purpose is not meant for you. It's not meant to enjoy yourself, to have fun, to have money, to just cruise through life. No, your purpose is meant for others. It is meant to serve humanity. That's why we are here. And your purpose is really your foundation. It is your foundation, and everything else pivots around it. Okay. So when we grow, we are drawn to that inner being that we truly are. And that is where the reason of our existence lies. Your purpose is inside of you. That's what I mean. It's inside of you. Now, when you grow, you connect with your purpose. That's why it's so important to invest in your personal growth and development and to make your life a growing life. That is the title of my book. And I know if my book, The Growing Life, I wrote it to help people who are looking for ways to improve themselves, who are looking for reasons why they need to grow. And it's all about 10 principles that I have discovered for creating a life of intentional growth and staying the path. You see, a growing life is a life that is always stepping forward into growth, charting a sacred path towards purpose, and committed to uncovering all of the potential that lies within and dying empty. Because God has given you your potential. You're meant to maximize it. You're first of all meant to discover it, to uncover it, to maximize it, and to live fully, to give of yourself so that there will be nothing left when you have to leave this side of eternity. Okay. Now, the second thing, personal growth, the second importance of personal growth, right, is it gives us clarity of vision. That's one thing that I believe a lot of young people need right now. They need to see clearly. And one exercise that I love to do with young people is to help them see into the future, 5 years into the future. I'm reading a book, and in that book, I read something really captured. I can't let me check the title of that book right now. I'm reading. Okay, it's okay. Be your future self now. That is it. Be your future self now. And in it, the author told the story of a young man. He is a content creator, a YouTuber. And when he was 17 years old, he did videos addressing, he was so vulnerable in those videos. And in those videos, he addressed his future self 6 months from that time, 1 year from that time, 2 years from that time, and 5 years from that time. So, what did he put in those videos? The things he aspired to be, to do, and to have. And please get that order very well: to be, to do, and to have. So, he wanted to have a certain number of followers 6 months from that time. That was one of his goals. And he wanted to donate to charity. He put so many things in a 6 months plan. And then he posted those videos. He scheduled those videos. He scheduled the videos to run on the date. That's he scheduled the 6 months video to run 6 months from that time. He was 17 at that time. He scheduled the 1 year video 1 year from that time. So he just put them out there. And 6 months after he did that, the first video aired. And he had achieved 2 times the number of followers on YouTube that he aspired to achieve. What am I saying? The best way to predict the future is to create it. That's a quote by Abraham Lincoln. Create the future you want to have, you want to live in your mind. Visualize it, write it down. Perhaps if you're good at videos and you like creating content like that, you can do a video about your future self, what you want to do, your best future self. Because we cannot arrive at the destination we don't see in our minds. And I can tell you, personal growth helps us to see further than we can see if we can see if we're not growing. Growth expands your mind and your thinking. And as we grow, we move closer to our vision. The vision becomes bigger and clearer. So, one thing I'm going to challenge you right now is to take a notebook and write down 5 years from now. I'm challenge you. Go and sit in a quiet place. Pray if you're a person of faith, if you pray, and ask God to help you to see the person you are meant to be 5 years from now. Who do you desire to be? What do you desire to do? And what do you desire to have 5 years from today? Write it down. Put it somewhere you can see and let that inspire you to take action every single day. Okay. Because when we are growing, it's easier to visualize the life we are designed for. So when you do that exercise, I'm telling you to do, it's going to help you to visualize the life you are designed for. Okay, all right. So let me know you're going to do it. You can reach out to me when you have done it and let me know. Okay. When I grow, I am happy. So my third point, importance of personal development, is growth makes me happy. When I am growing, when I'm learning, when I'm improving myself, when I'm stretching myself, I am happy. I connect with who I am, with my authentic self. I see my potential. And because I see my potential and I move closer to my vision every day, it inspires me. It just gives me zest and I love myself more. Okay. So when I'm growing, because I'm investing in myself, I do not keep it to myself. Like what I'm doing, what am I doing now? I am adding value to you. You have value. You already have value. So I'm just adding to what you already have. Okay. So when you are growing, you are driven to make life better for others. Like, oh, that's what Doris is driven to do. That's why she's doing this right now. All right. And when you are doing something good for another person, you're always happy. Nobody does good and frowns and cries and no. When you're doing good, you are happy. I am happy. And I know most of the people that I surround myself with, they are happy doing good. They're happy adding value to others. Okay, so growth makes me happy and it will make you happy if you invest in yourself intentionally. So, how do you stay on the path of growth? And I believe that is really the main thing we are here today. Right, the growth path. How do we stay on that path? Okay, the first thing that I will tell you is take ownership of your growth. And what I'm telling you right now is my journey, what I've been through, what I am currently experiencing. You know, it's called personal growth or personal development for a reason. There is personal in front of it. And that personal means that your growth belongs to you, it begins with you. It is yours. You need to own it. Take responsibility for your life, take responsibility for your habits, take responsibility for your actions. Growth cannot be accidental. You are here, you took your time, you signed on, right? You didn't just get on this platform by accident. No, you were not just scrolling and then you just saw a link and then you just clicked on the link and then you just landed here and you're just here and you're listening to me right now. Okay, no, it wasn't accidental. You did something, you were intentional about it. And that is one step forward towards taking ownership of your growth. You do not need approval from anyone to do that. Did you need approval from anyone to click on that link and be here and listen to me? I don't think so. Okay, so you do not need approval to grow. Take ownership for the steps that you take towards becoming the best version of yourself every single day because growth happens daily. You take ownership daily, not once in a while, not once in a year, not once in 5 years. No, if you really want to have a good life, remember what John Maxwell says at the beginning. Growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow is going to be better. So if you want your tomorrow to be better, be intentional about personal growth and development. Take ownership of it. Be selfish about your growth. Yes, you have permission for me to be selfish about your growth because it's about you, it's your life. And as you get more involved in adding value to yourself, you find out that you're able to reach out to others because you're putting value into yourself. You're putting something into yourself. So you now have something to give others. So it starts with you and then it extends to others. Simple, right? So one person impacting another person. That's how you take ownership of your growth. All right. So when you take control of your personal growth and development, you give it energy. You put in money, time, and commitment. Because let's say you need to improve yourself, you need to develop your speaking skills, your communication skills, for example. Let's just say you want to go through the route of reading books. You need to buy that book, right? You need to put in the time to read the book, the energy and the commitment to read that book and apply, energy to apply everything that you've been told in that book. Okay, let's just say you want to go through the route of YouTube videos or TED Talks, you want to listen to TED Talks. All right. You have to buy data, right? You need to load your phone or maybe your modem with data. You need to spend time and commit to learning and putting in the energy that is required for you to become a great communicator. And as you do that, you will eventually create that person that you saw in your vision of more, a vision of a better communicator. Okay. So, how do we stay on the path of personal development, personal growth? You have to maintain a positive spirit. Maintain a positive spirit because this is about inspiration. This is about motivation. Learn to motivate yourself. Find inspiration every day. Look for it. Most often, inspiration doesn't just come to us. We need to seek it out. We need to search it out. Inspire yourself, motivate yourself, because I'm telling you, the journey gets hard sometimes. There are days when you will get discouraged. There are days when you just want to lie down in bed and not do anything. There are days when you feel, oh my God, all this time I'm putting in is not adding up. I'm not really achieving much. I'm not even seeing improvement. But you need to keep at it. You need to stir yourself up and say, it is little drops of water that create an ocean. But you need to keep dropping those, you need to keep putting in the drops. One drop, two drops, three drops, four drops, five drops. And that is it. Have you ever had a leaking pipe in your home? We currently have a leaking pipe. Our water tank, our water pump is leaking. And it started with drops of water. And now, when we turn on the pump, the water just gushes out. That's how it is. It started to drip slowly, 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 and then it now becomes pressure starts building from the inside, and then it increases. The water just gushes out. It's the same thing. When you maintain a positive spirit, keep inspired to take one step every day, one step every day. Because as you take steps every day, little steps taken every day will compound, and you will build momentum, and then learn to spend time with yourself and be still. Most often, we are overcome by the noise around us. We want to belong, we want to stay where others are, we want to, you know, just be drown out that noise, that voice inside of us that is telling us, okay, let me do this, let me read one more book, listen to one more podcast, listen to one more video, just speak to my mentor. We want to spend time with others. We want to be in a noisy place, maybe watch football or go to club or whatever we want to do just to be with other people. But learn to spend time with yourself. I see like heavyweight champions, bodybuilders, all those people, sports professionals, you know, when they are training, they train most often, they train alone. There's this professional swimmer, the Olympian called Michael Phelps. I don't know if you know of Michael Phelps. If you know Michael Phelps, he is, and he's a gold medal. He has won several gold medals in swimming Olympics, and he is is still putting in all the work and is still going strong. So I read an article. It was an interview with his coach, Michael Phelps' coach. You can Google him, Michael Phelps. I think Phelps is Phelps. So his coach said something. He said, Michael, he trains every single day, even on Christmas Day. you know, when I read that, I said, wow, even on Christmas Day, that means every day is training day. My mentor, one of my mentors, Chris, he has the habit of saying this to us that it has become like a mantra to us, his mentees. And he says, every day is due day. Every day is due day. So when you are taking action every single day, you do not leave room for staying down or negative. You are upbeat. Even if you want to get down, action, take action, just take one action, and you find yourself inspired. So find joy in whatever you are doing right now and maintain a positive spirit. Okay. So wherever you are in your life right now, be joyful, keep growing. That is not where you're going to end. Where you are right now is not where you are going to earn. If you are growing, if you are growing. All right, so you need to invest in your personal growth. And then the next step is how do I stay? The next step on how do I stay on the path of personal growth and development? Get rid of your excuses. Just get rid of all the excuses that you currently have. My mentor, Paul Martinelli, he says, there is nothing better than a good excuse. There's nothing better than a good excuse. What does that mean? It means every excuse this is a good excuse. We always have a reason why we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And in my on my journey and my interactions with people, I've seen that all excuse is valid. All those excuses they are valid. Okay. Okay. What's your excuse for not taking the step you need to take towards your best self? Some of the things I have heard in the past are something like, "Mm, I don't have the time now. Let me think about it. Oh, I'm not really the reading type. Oh, okay, maybe I'll check it out when I have time. I'll ask my friend, my husband, my wife sometimes. Some people will say, oh, okay, it sounds really nice, so, but I'll get back to you. And some people will say, oh, we're in February right now. I'm very busy. Let me look at my schedule. Let me see. Maybe around November, I can take the course. I can read the book. I can go on that program, or I can listen to you. Okay, some people will say, I don't have the money right now. Some will say, it's on Saturday. Oh, you know how my Saturdays are very busy. I have to do laundry, I have weddings, I have this, I have that. Oh, it's Sunday evening. Oh, Sunday is my rest day. Oh, don't go there. I have to rest. So those are some of the excuses that I hear, you know. And from older people, I hear, oh, I'm busy on my job right now. When I retire, I'll think about it. Maybe I'll start when I retire. Okay. And then from business people, I hear things like, oh, the hustle is really too much. I'm very busy. I have to find money. Does it bring money? Does it bring money now? Okay. If it doesn't bring money now, then I don't have time for it. Okay. And young people, they tell me, oh, one more book. Ah, I just finished my WAECO. The reading I read. Oh, I just finished my BSc. I finished study. I don't want to study again. My head is full. All sorts of excuses. And like my mentor says, the only thing better than an excuse is a good excuse. So we can find all the excuses to stay in our comfort zone, to not develop ourselves, to not stay on the personal growth path. If you find an excuse, if you want an excuse, you always find an excuse, truly. You can never lack one. So take your growth personally and stop looking for permission. Get rid of all those excuses that you one other excuse that I hear is, I'm looking for a job right now. Is that thing going to give me job? Oh, and let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, Amarachi, so this is how she got her first job. She went for an interview, and after they've asked her all those questions that they ask you at the interview, they asked her one last question. And that was just an afterthought, right? That, okay, now we've finished the interview, but what are you reading? What are you current? Which book are you currently reading right now? And at that time, she was reading the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. One of the panelists said, wow, you're so young. Why are you reading that kind of book? And she said, oh, I want to become a better leader. So I know that if I read the book and all the things I'm learning in that book right now, they are really helping me to think better, to think like a leader, and to just grow myself. Guess what? That was the question that got her that job. So let me tell you something. There are so many places you will go, so many people you will meet, so many people that, in fact, you may never imagine in your wildest dream that you will stand in front of that person. But because you are growing, because you're staying on the path of personal growth, you will find yourself in rooms, on tables that you never dreamed, you never imagined you would be. That is my story. That's my testimony. My growth has taken me places that I never imagined. I've spoken to people that I never imagined that I will speak to, that I will meet in my life, you know. But that is because I am growing, I'm improving myself, and I'm putting myself out there. I'm adding value to myself and others. All right. Now, last but not least for today, I can't give you all the points I have today. I just have to stay within the time I'm giving. Manage your life, not your time. Manage your life and not your time. That may sound counterintuitive. It may sound contradictory. Maybe it may not sound like something that makes sense to you. Okay. But I can tell you, if you manage your life, you will manage your time. My mentor, John C. Maxwell, he says something. He's my mentor. I listen to him. His voice is in my head. Okay. He mentors me personally. Now, he says, many people have uphill hopes and downhill habits. Many people have uphill hopes and downhill habits. What's your habits? What are your habits? How do you spend your time? What are the choices? What choices are you currently making right now? What is taking your attention? I know a lot of sometimes, I have young people. I have a young adults in my house. All right, so sometimes we feel we can just relax. I don't have anything to do, so let me watch Netflix. And you watch Netflix, you do all night watching Netflix, so and then in the morning you dust yourself up. In fact, in the morning you wake up because you did all night watching Netflix. You wake up by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then you now decide to start doing, maybe look for something to eat and all that. Before you know it, it's midday. Then you decide to just go out and hustle a bit. or fine, maybe let me just drop one CV or check here, check there. So by the time you know it, the day has gone. What did you do with your morning? I can tell you, your morning, what you do from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Let me just say from 5 a.m. Let me extend it to 9 a.m. That is what determines your future. You see, your success lies in your daily agenda. Your success lies in your habits. Your success lies in the choices that you are making. Your success lies in your habits. So, if you want to have uphill hopes, if you want to have success, you need to watch your habits, pay attention to what you are paying attention to, what is taking your time, you know, how are you handling distractions, and what choices are you making? Someone by name Robert Foster Bennett said something. He says, your life is the sum result of all the choices you make, both consciously and unconsciously. If you can control the process of choosing, you can take control of all aspects of your life. You can find the freedom that comes from being in charge of yourself. I'm going to take that quote again as I close. He says, so if you're writing, please write it down. He says, your life is the sum result of all the choices you make, both consciously and unconsciously. If you can control the process of choosing, you can take control of all aspects of your life. You can find the freedom that comes from being in charge of yourself. So the author of that quote is Robert Foster Bennett. I'll leave you with that for today. Thank you very much, and God bless you. So, Doris,
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a lot of my I have my own mentor. When you put up programs like this, in fact, when I put up this program, actually, I had my the our mentees at Creating Power Foundation. I had the mind. We had we actually had a program that led to it. So putting it up, I had them all in mind. I was thinking I might not actually benefit from it, but it's just very much awesome. Thank God I'm actually on this path. I wouldn't say of course I've not gotten there. I'm still growing. It's just very awesome how you answered some of the questions are right there in my mind. There was something you said about staying positive, as in when you're growing, you don't give room to the sorrows and all that. Something actually happened to me today. I was just not feeling fine about a lot of things. It really affected my mood. I couldn't really read. I just tried my best to like, in fact, I was almost really very much moody. But do you know that in the midst of that being moody, in the midst of praying, like asking God, how are we going to do this? In the midst of that, something just came to me. Time is going. You need to write something about the last session we had yesterday night. So I was just like, I just opened my phone. So I was like, let me just get to Canva. Like, okay, let me just see if I can just design a little. Just that little design, one design led to five different designs. And before you know what is happening, the mood
that's it.
the mood disappeared.
That's it. Yes.
So I
Yes.
can really see um I can really see um the experiences I actually go through. I can really see the explanations. You just explained everything. So just because I'm on that path, and that's why I can really relate very well. I was actually looking at our mentees. I was just so bothered about helping them become more and all that, not knowing that the same thing I'm giving to them will be so beneficial to me myself. Oh, that's so awesome.
Thank God.
Of course,
Thank God.
thank you so much. Somebody say manage your life and not your time. Of course, when you manage your life, by the time you have the intention to actually manage your life, that's when you realize that somehow you start managing your time. But when you're managing your
Right.
time, you might just be stingy about, I don't know, about your personal growth, something like that. So that's very much awesome. I really want to appreciate it. I don't know if you have questions. I can see somebody is still online. Do you have any question at all?
Yeah, if you
Personal.
have any question, let me answer it. Okay.
Okay, if you don't have any question, no question is coming yet. Okay,
Okay.
if you don't have
Let Do you have questions, Doris?
actually, something, one of the things you said, you were like, when you said when you give, when it, as in vision itself, it gives us clarity of vision, as in personal development gives us clarity of vision. And you mentioned this to be, to do, and to have. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to, what do you want to do? And what do you want to have? Let me say, unfortunately, in our generation, people jump to what do you want to have. They leave, everybody's looking at what do you want to have. Is that money? Just that
Mm-hmm.
money. Nothing else, just that money. They're not looking at who do you want to be. They're not looking at that. They're not looking at what do you want to do. They're looking at what do you want to have. Just if it's not currency, some people say if it's not money, it's not making sense. That kind of a thing. So I when I saw it actually, I realized that even with this, I can actually draw a strategic plan.
Yeah.
You know, I can actually draw a
Yeah.
I can actually draw a strategic. So
Yeah. Like,
that
I
that is
mentioned,
so
I mentioned your 5 year. I gave an
yeah.
exercise that do a 5 year, visualize your life 5 years from today. And
Mm,
if you visualize
yeah.
your life 5 years from today in line with that, number one, who do I want to be 5 years from today? Two, what do I want to be doing 5 years from now? And what do I want to have? So don't just say, I want to be successful in 5 years' time, or I want to be an engineer in 5 years' time. And when you say, I want to be an engineer, that is wrong. That's erroneous because you are not being an engineer, you are doing an engineering.
Okay.
So who are you? What are you being?
Yeah.
So the question is, who are, as an engineer, who is that engineer? What kind of engineer are you being? Are you being, So that's why the being question, a lot of people run away from the being question because it requires deep work. You need to go within yourself. You need to do introspection to really know, who do I want to be? It requires you to think, to go within yourself. And a lot of people would rather not do that. They'll rather go without and look for things externally than going within and becoming who they are meant to be. So growth really starts from within. You have to go within before you can go without. The being question is an inner question. And a lot of people are afraid, they are scared to do that deep work of looking inside of them. They don't know what they will find. But I can tell you there's something beautiful inside of you. If you can only have the courage to look inside, you will find greatness. You will find potential. You will find love. You will find peace. You find joy. There's so much inside of you, but you need to go inside and look for it. That's like mining, digging for gold. Okay.
That's awesome.
Right.
Just of course, you just explained something now. Now I can see this. I want to be a banker. I want to be.
Hmm.
There is a real you. The banker
No,
thing. It's not the career thing.
yeah, it's not
There
a
is
career
the real
thing.
you.
Mhm. The career is the doing part, you know. That is the doing. Okay,
Wow.
the career is the doing. So, what is the being? So, don't skip that one. Start with the being, then you can now do the doing.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Okay, this is like kind of a question, though you touched it. You know, when it looks like it's not adding up, when it looks like it's not adding up, when it looks like result is not coming, but something still tells something, even in the midst of it's not adding up, something will still be pushing you to stand up. In fact, the more you don't even do it, the more you don't have peace, you know. So it's actually my situation sort of. At times it looks like it's not adding up. At times it looks like, I don't know if you could just throw little light on that.
Okay. You know, most often we think we are very hard on ourselves. We're harder on ourselves than we are supposed to be. You see, growth happens internally before it starts to show. It's just like when you plant a seed, right? When you've planted that seed, you don't know what is happening on the ground. You just have to keep watering the seed. If you don't water that seed, what will happen? If you say, "Oh, I don't feel like watering this seed today." In fact, I have an example right on my balcony. I have some plants there that I forgot to water and the plants died. So if you're not watering that seed, the seed is going to dry up and it's going to die. So the seed is underground. You're not even seeing, you don't even know if that seed is growing at all until the day it sprouts and you see the first shoot. Now imagine if you're not taking steps every day to add value to yourself. You've planted a seed, but if you're not taking steps every day to add value to yourself, if you're not doing the work, no matter how small, because a seed doesn't even require so much water. It's just like so few drops of water every day. And really, I tell people when we say personal growth happens daily, it's a process that happens daily. It doesn't mean you have to take gulps of water every day. No, it's just drops of water. You can find your speed, find your rhythm and stay with it. Some seeds will require a lot of water. Most seeds require, some even require just humidity. They don't even require water. They just need to be in a humid environment, you know, where they can get vapor. And that is it. But if you don't put them in that environment and feed them that vapor, the humidity, or the drops of water that you're required to feed it, the seed is going to dry up. So that's what I would say. When you get discouraged, when you feel like nothing is happening, remember there is a seed inside, and that seed requires some nurturing. That very soon, if you keep nurturing that seed, if you keep watering it, if you keep, you know, just putting some tilling the soil around the seed, one day it's going to sprout and you will see a shoot. Do not stop what you are doing. Do not stop growing because you're not seeing results yet. You're not seeing results yet.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, ma. I really appreciate it.
All
I'm so
right.
much glad. When you want to give out something, I just learned something right now. When you want to give out something to somebody, because you think that thing is so important to the person, not knowing that what you're even giving out, I think it will come back to you in an amazing manner. So I was able to
Yeah.
actually, because I've learned a lot, learned a lot, and how I was able
Yeah.
to put together this. topics, these lines of topics. I don't remember how I was able to put it. The whole thing like came last year, December. I started thinking about it. And there is a particular phrase that the first speaker used. The second speaker used it. And today, we also use that particular. It's not really the same, but the meaning, the same meaning, the same line. So it's like I'm now seeing the connection, how the entire topic are actually connected. So how I was able to even put this topic well connected, how I was able to put it together, is what I don't even know, or what led to it, I don't even know. But God did it the way He could do it. So I really appreciate your time for being with us. We thank you for being there as a support system, seeing that we are all growing ourselves.
Yeah,
We are so much glad. Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm happy to be
thank
here.
you so
Thank
much.
you. Okay. All right,
Thank
Doris. Let me leave you to
you.
close with your people. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. And if you're listening to this recording, drop in the comment section what your takeaways are. And don't forget to do the 5-year visualization exercise. Thank you. Stay blessed.